just listened to your podcast on teamwork the other day, and I know I'm a bit behind on listening to it. I thought the part about authenticity was good. My question is, what do you do if one of your teammates in ANS or anywhere else is being that inauthentic team member or just a bad team player in general? How can I, as a teammate, still be working toward the team's success, even if I have free riders? Free riders, okay.
Freeloaders,
Yeah,
whatever.
freeloaders, I think is what he meant.
Yeah.
People who are hurting the team.
Well,
Uh, for my advice would be, dude, you just got to don't worry about him. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pressing on for what you need in the team. At first, that's the first step, and then everybody else is hopefully some guilt and some shaming and some peer pressure actually will help course correct. Shaming is a good thing. Like people talk about how bullies are bad and all that kind of shit. Sure, violent bullies and everything like that. Yeah, I guess. But sometimes, if you're the stinky kid, somebody needs to tell you you're the stinky kid and make fun of you and publicly shame you, because then it'll help you change your ways and make you more hygienic. Same if you're doing not being a team player and you're all about yourself, then some public shaming and some calling you out is required, and it is warranted, and it's okay. In fact, I highly recommend it. So you call them out, shame them, and see if the behavior changes after a while. If not, you have two choices. You either ostracize the person and cut them out of the loop completely, or you bring them in and insulate them a bit more. Both are not wrong, but both are not correct.
so if you're further along on the pipeline, right? Because like in the beginning, it's just chaos. There's all these people quitting and all this other stuff. But like once you kind of have a rhythm established as a team, a single bad day or like one or two mistakes, right, is not habitual. There is a time to insulate one of your teammates and bring them in, and maybe a little bit of shaming involved in that and all this other stuff, but being open and honest with them to get them, because that's the only way that they're going to move past it, right, and be successful. Now, if this person is a habitual bad teammate, that is when you isolate. That is when you give them tasks that they're not going to perform. That is when you stop being nice to them. That's when like it goes from, and you can't bully someone that's in the pipeline. Like bullying implies a hierarchical structure, right? Like this balance of power, whatever it is that doesn't exist. And this is a balance of merit. If they're not earning their place on that team, it's not bullying for you to tell them to FO on a regular basis, to point out when they're not there, to help them on their way out the door. That there's both things that need to happen, but it just depends. But like if you're like 3 months into the pipeline and someone has a bad day and they're a little selfish that day and they're not doing great, man, you need to nip that in the bud, and you need to insulate that person right away. You need to be like, bro, not cool. I get it. You're having a bad day. Do you need to talk about anything? Like, how do we fix this? And they're probably just gonna be like, bro, dude, I'm having a rough day. They probably just need to get some stuff off their chest. Maybe they had a phone call with their parents or people back home. Maybe things are messing them up. Maybe they tweaked something, and they're just physically struggling, and that physical stress turns into mental stress and all this other stuff. But if they make it through the day, try to get them past that so that they can keep going, right? But man, if this dude is like 2 weeks in a row, just never carrying team gear, not helping out with anything, just disappearing at the moment's notice, going on medical appointments and doing the bare minimum, like the guys that like the lawyers that are like, I can miss 2 events during this block of instruction and I can still graduate. Man, you gotta make their life hard.
Very, very hard. And hold no quarter, or whatever they say. Give no mercy. Like, just go ham on that dude.
Well, you got to think, like, do you want that person? Like, I always gave this analogy to my students, right? Because there was a one time when I was doing some stuff with some students. There was a hose and dirt involved outside of a pool. It was a really good time. But like, I remember this one student, and he wasn't physically gifted, and he was weird. And I had this other student that was physically gifted and like a normal type guy, but he was like, why is this dude still here? How come you haven't run him out of the pipeline? But like, I remember during this exercise, this kid just doesn't quit. Like he's kind of a mess, but I'm like, if I can get him to the standards, I was like, if I'm shot and I'm staring up at the sky, whose face do I want to show up over mine? That's going to give me the most amount of confidence that no matter what, they're not going to quit on me. Like it's hyperbolic, but that's how I view it. Like, do you want, if that person shows up, are you just going to be like, bro, just let me bleed out here? Cause it's fine. Like, just go away. I know this isn't going to work out. Or do you want that person that shows up that you're like, I know, even if I die, no matter what, you're going to do everything in your power to take care of this situation. And I'm looking for that person.